Sit back, relax. Try to maintain your composure. You are about to become connected.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Connect podcast, episode 30, or maybe even episode 1, for the fucking
Take 2.
for the fact that it's been literally about 2 months since we've done our last one. So all you guys that have held on and keep listening to us, thank you very much. Gonna get
And
my
we're
beer.
sorry for being absent for so long.
So being absent.
Sean and I, think life gets in the way.
It does, boyfriends.
Sean knocked some bitch
The
up.
lack
had
of
to deal with
girlfriends,
that.
pregnancies, unexpected.
No, not really.
Tess's cat had a few kittens. We have to put them down.
Oh.
No. You can thank Shane for the fact that we're back today, and Shane is here. He's one of our good friends, and he's come to talk about some shit that we're going to get to the bottom of some shit. Really open up some doors, and possibly we might even change your life if you listen to us in depthly and read between the lines.
Who knows?
Open up doors and get to the bottom of things.
That's right.
It's a good goal for the end. We'll revisit that goal at the end and see if we've reached it.
Okay.
All right.
So what's been happening around the world in the past 2 months that we fucking have been so poor at reporting?
We have a new Prime Minister. It's pretty massive.
Well, we have the original Prime Minister who was
right.
always supposed to fucking be there, and just because, people who big business doesn't like getting taxed, he got kicked out. But anyway, I'm a fan of Kevin Rudd. I think that if the world was to go into crisis, I was just thinking this today, if the world was to go into crisis and, shit's going to get fucked up and everyone is, going to be fighting for food and scraps, I would rather Kevin Rudd in charge than Tony Abbott.
Yeah, well...
Because I think he would do a better job at spreading food where
not
it's
really
needed.
a fair comparison. Like, Tony Abbott is a horrid person, like in terms of, I don't know him personally, but I don't like the guy personally.
Yeah.
But as politically, he's pathetic. It's sad, and really, I can't believe that we've let someone like that get so close to being in control of the nation. Did you see the video I posted on my?
Yeah. Have you seen it? You would have seen the video I was talking on today.
Just 7 minutes of Tony Abbott blundering and sounding like an idiot.
He looks
just
like
an idiot.
He looks
actually
like a
intellectually
fucking golem.
retarded.
He looks like a golem. He looks like a creature that you would see, like, in Lord of the Rings, and he's just like, he's like, got his money there, and he's like, my precious.
I honestly don't know how.
He's still got a decent following, but
He does.
I don't know how he has gotten so successful.
He fights for the
It's a
rich.
bit like a
He fights
Sarah
for the rich.
Palin of Australia sort of thing, I guess. Like
Sarah Palin.
Yeah. He fights for the
if
rich.
you like him, if the
I think
people who like him love him. But
He's a Freemason too. He's a devout Freemason. He
But we don't know who else is Freemasons that's been in the government either.
Fucking, I know. It'd be
Are
hard
you
to
a
tell.
Freemason, Sean?
I'm not. I was asked to convert, but I didn't.
From who?
Fucking my brother-in-law's a Freemason.
Oh, fair
It's
enough.
disgusting. Yeah, I know. But, look,
No, it's not. I think it's a pretty good place to be.
I think it is. It's actually alright. Like, I mean, you meet the right people and you go and have a beer and all that. Look, the only conspiracies about Freemasonry comes from the top of the pyramid. Like, everyone else down below was just drinking a lot of beer and having a good time,
They're just lackeys
Yeah, I
to the
don't
top
think
of
they
the
belong.
pyramid.
But
Well, yeah.
I think the people who are at the very top of the Freemason sort of pyramid are the ones that are possibly pulling the strings.
I don't think there's any younger people who are even Freemasons anymore anyway. Isn't it more just people like who are 40, 50 plus? Like,
I think it's sort of like a fucking Jewish community sort of
Isn't
thing.
it
I
sort of like-
think there's there could be like whole, suburbs in the United States and that sort of thing where you're just born. It's like a religion.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's more.
There
I
would be
think it's
places
definitely
around
in
like
that you have to know somebody to get in. So
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to be invited, and then I think you have to pass certain.
No, there's like a ritual. There's some sort of
rituals. I think it's just
but
like
they've only
some
done
cuts
it
and
do it
Simpsons.
once.
I think
Yeah.
it's just
it is.
like
That's
that.
why they.
I think it's
that's
just
what
I
based
think
on,
it's just
yeah.
like that. Yeah. So you have to get naked and carry a ball and chain.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm for every single Freemason that I've met, even guys who wear the rings and they tell us about how good it is and all that, I've never met a bunch of more retarded people in my life. I'm deadly serious. Like, there is nothing.
Freemasons.
Yeah, they might be successful.
Who are you talking about?
I don't know. I've met Fiona's husband. I also met about 6 or 7 other. There was 20 of them. There was 20 of them when we went to Ireland, and I caught up with all of John's friends who are all Freemasons, and they're all absolute fucking retards. They got no social sense.
That might be the commonality of being a Freemason. Might be a commonality of being Irish.
No, I think it's
or like of being John's friends.
No, I think it's also I think it's also the fact that they gravitate towards a sense of unity with other humans because they don't have the ability to make their own friends. Yeah, they're too weak to be able to go out in society and really, well, it's not about weakness, it's about the fact that they were never born with the social capability of being able to make decent friends themselves, so they need to sign up to a group where you're forced to like other people to like you. Automatic,
around you.
Well, they can just get things given to them and everything's easy.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, everyone. That's one of the main rules of Freemasonry. If you need a lawyer, then you bring a lawyer. That's a Freemason. If you need
really similar to Jewish culture.
It's very similar.
They got their own hospital. Like,
they got that.
Massive one. Where they can just go anytime. Like, everything is their own. Like.
It's really similar to Jewish.
But they
have to go to the hospital, got to wait all night, where they can just go to Richmond and go to Freemason Hospital. Like.
The one East Melbourne one in Albert Street.
Albert Street,
Is there one in Albert Street?
There's definitely a Freemason something there. Or is it the hospital? I don't know.
It's probably just where they go to get wasted, I don't know.
Yeah.
I used to live near one. I used to live near like a Freemason church sort of thing.
Oh, really?
I go past like sometimes and there'd just be like 30 dudes just getting smashed. Like,
oh, really?
All in like bow ties, all these dudes like in their 50s. Just, and they're all just blind, like yelling and screaming, but I don't know what else they get up to in there. But.
No, but I think, they do like a good drink.
Jerking off, maybe it's an aggressive jerk.
Maybe they jerk off.
Jerk church.
I can't believe you beat me to that. I can't believe you beat me to it. Yeah, they just jerk off in a circle, like a pentagram. They make a pentagram and then they just jerk off. And then and then the poor guy that's getting initiated, he's like the one in the middle, like just popping all the nose, just showering. And the initiation is that there is absolutely no way that you can show that you're in any discomfort whatsoever. So this guy's like lathering himself and all like the fucking semen, just like
40 loads.
Yeah, 40 loads to the face. It's just a machine gun. It's just a ruthless machine gun. I'm just like,
I'm so sorry.
That would be ruthless, wouldn't it?
Shaun gets really excited when he talks about jerking off.
Well, there's a few things I like in this life, and that gives me.
We can all have our biases.
That gives me a bit of vision and gives me a bit of clarity in my life.
Just like you said, there's no conspiracies about jerking off.
There are no conspiracies about jerking off. You're either jerking or you're not. Okay, and that's it.
Black and white.
Yeah. The only conspiracy is there's a lot of talk about jerking, but there's not much jerking in the public arena, right?
Which is about jerking. I reckon you're wrong. I reckon females. There's a conspiracy among females because most females would not admit it that they do it.
Yeah, I know.
I reckon that's a conspiracy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know it is. They don't, but I reckon they do.
They smash themselves.
They smash themselves weekly. Well, from all I've learnt with females is like they are even like in a relationship they're even more into sex than the guy. It's probably after the first 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
The chick builds slowly from the start of the relationship to like the middle to the end of the relationship. They just keep building. And it's like they want more and more and more and more. Yeah, definitely. And guys are like first 3 months and then it sort of starts.
Well, that's because the novelty wears off for the guy, and a lot of time the guy's attraction comes from just wanting to be with a chick who's new.
Smash by.
And so once that comes up, that stops, and you guys are a bit over it. But I think for females, I think you may be right in the way that
the connection gets deeper.
Well, the connection gets deeper, definitely, one, but two, the man learns her, and then she just he's really good at it with her. So
yeah,
she
definitely.
Actually just wants it because it's good.
And then the guy finds it boring a bit, I guess.
Yeah, I think the novelty just wears off.
Yeah.
But then again, isn't all the females?
It's not as deep with a guy. It's not as deep.
It's not as emotional.
Sex isn't as deep.
Yeah.
Sex is sort of like just smashing the box,
get in there,
smashing
get
the
it done.
box, and then like with females, it's sort of like
just jerk off.
What is it like? I was like, oh, it's so deep inside me. Like, I mean, I don't understand like how
You want me to explain to you what it feels like to have a cock up? Is that what you want me to?
Do you want me to explain it? It feels like I have a cock up my cunt. That's fucking excellent. That was your finest moment.
Okay, well, anyway, you're not going to get it.
No, I don't want to know. It's for the listeners. It's not for me. Why would I know? How would I care?
I'm talking to you. The conversation. No, but a lot of females, they definitely get over it. They get stressed and they can't be fucked and whatever.
They get stressed?
They literally can't be fucked.
Have a fucking Nurofen. Chill out.
But like, would that be like in relationships even for a year or two?
No,
or would
I
that
think
be like
that's very
after 5 years or something?
To not want to have sex at all once it gets past whatever 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I've never noticed that.
I think there's more periods where it can
I'm
go
usually
up
getting
and
in trouble because I can't do it.
I think there's more times where like you might go like a month without having sex, and then like it depends like
all
it's like
systems go.
it's all like she'll just get really keen or like either way like
yeah.
But that happens with everyone. Like testosterone like goes up like even in summer like you want to have more sex because you got more energy and stuff like.
Yeah, I think that's
because like in summer it's a lot more positive energy going around because so much sun makes you happy. So like like in summer you always want to have more sex, and winters like you're more tired.
Hibernate.
It's like a
the gash closes up.
it's like a hibernation. Like.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why I have a theory about if you look at all the third world countries.
So would there
developing countries?
So would there be more sluts in warmer climates?
That's what I'm saying. Listen to my
more
theory.
tropical climates.
Listen to my theory.
It is, that's right.
Listen to my theory. I don't. I'm in the middle of it. So, if you look at the developing countries and where they are in terms of the latitude of the Earth, they're all around the equator where it's hot. So you've got all the developed, like poor countries around there where they fuck and they don't have contraception. They fuck like crazy.
Right.
So, but also they're poor, whatever, because it's so hot around there. Like you said, there's so much energy, and they're all just having babies left, right, and center. And then the further north and south you go, the more conservative they are, and the more precious they are with their bodies, and people only have sex when whatever. Maybe not, but anyway. But they have less babies.
Generally speaking, maybe that's the case.
And if you look at places
so is that why
slutty cultures are often, I think, the northern South American countries, like the Latino countries, you got like Spanish people, Italy.
So is that why when I go to Brisbane, I get a route straight away, but when I'm in Melbourne, it's fucking real tough.
I reckon, yeah.
It could be right, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe that's right.
Well, we've
just go for the chick that's sweating the most, everyone.
I reckon we've got to the bottom of that one.
I think that's...
We've got to the bottom of that.
I reckon... Yeah. I've never thought of it like that.
That's just when more happy people are, the more chance they are of wanting to have sex and testosterone and being...
I think that's a really good point.
Where if you're always, when you're sad, like the last thing you think about is just like going out and having sex. Well, some people do, but when you're like around a hotter climate and it's more brighter and you're happier. I can just imagine
I'm gonna be having a lot of sex when I get to
you are. You're gonna get your gash smashed.
Well, that's what I say. The most
Don't speak about my gash online.
Don't Spanish people have the most sex in the world?
Yeah.
I mean, they're the best.
I reckon you're gonna get
the
some
best sex as well too.
I'm gonna get.
You're gonna get some little dude that's just gonna like. I'm not even going to go into details.
Let's talk about something really
I have too much
important,
respect.
like a global issue.
Speaking of Spanish countries around that sort of region, we've had shitloads of protests lately, and I think we need to talk about that. Go straight from the gash to the protest. Yeah. Similar sort of thing, but Bulgaria, Egypt, Brazil. Like the list goes on and on. We're talking about tens of millions of people protesting. And I like to generalise these sort of things. And some people always pull me up on it, and they're like, "Oh, you can't call it that. It's not like people not liking their government or this or that." But generally speaking, a lot of it is about sort of corruption in government and...
Well, the one in Turkey started because the government were going to change one of the...
They're going to put a mosque or some shit in
Taksim Square.
Yeah.
They're going to make it a shopping centre.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to do that, so they had to start off a small protest, just environmental, interest, whatever, greenie protest. And then I think they were too rough with the crowd. It was a peaceful protest, and then everyone was like, "Fuck that!" Being rough with peaceful protesters against government, anti-police, all that.
Yeah, and then it went spilled over to. I think Turkey only went to a couple of 100,000, maybe 200,000 or 300,000.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that. It was like that extreme. Not in relation to Brazil.
Brazil's millions.
Was millions, and then Egypt
was 19 million.
No, 33 million.
33,
and then Egypt went to 33 million, and
so
like
2/3 of the country, I think, is not something. Was it?
And
yeah, massive.
Yeah, well, there's only 66. There's only what is it?
I think
there's 80 million people in Egypt.
I think with the
protests,
protests,
that's a third of the country.
I think with the protests, like it's not really to do with the government bringing in them policies. I think it's more people have the internet and they can see what other people are doing now. They can see like the grass is greener. Like when back in the day, look at like Dubai and all that. Look at the laws they have in place. Where if back in the day when they brought them laws in place, if they had the internet to see what else was going on in other places of the world, and they would have been like, well, we're not going to take this shit. Like, let's go make a difference. When like now, like if just imagine if Australia, if there was like some crazy law coming out, like everyone had to wear a fucking turban, or dude's gonna have like 10 wives and shit like that. Like it wouldn't go down pretty well. Like there'd be protests fucking everywhere. Like even though Australia's not a country that would really protest, I could see like that.
I wonder what would have to happen for Australia to start protesting.
That frustrates me so much.
No, but I think we're pretty well off. So it's like with that thing that I was just saying, where you go on the internet, it's like the grass is greener. I think it would take something pretty massive for us, everyone in Australia, to go out and protest, because we sort of nearly have the greenest grass out of everything.
I think it would take something so terrible for something to happen to something we feel very strongly about, like perhaps perhaps they did something really bad to another country that we just couldn't let them do, or they took something away that we are just not going to compromise on, like just so fundamental to all our beliefs and culture, like you can't swim in the beach.
The thing is, let's talk about this grass is greener situation at the moment. Like, I mean, I've read a little bit of stuff in the past couple of days about the fact of the way the world was before agriculture, and throughout the sort of Egyptian and desert regions, they were saying that the average working week for a male, for basically gathering food and that sort of stuff, was around about 16 to 20 hours. And they were saying, and these people, from the nutritional quality before agriculture,
so
and I was saying, and this is in an arid region. This is in a region where there's not a lot of shit coming around. So they're saying in an arid region, in regions where there was like lush forests and like plants and animals everywhere, they would have to even do less. They were saying, and it was more. It wasn't like a work thing, so to speak. It was more of
survival.
Like it wasn't even survival. It was more to the point of sort of like, the males are going to go and have a good time hunting. You know what I mean? They're not going to go and we're not going to fucking work and like it's not 9 to 5.
But there's still places in the world like that. Like in South America, there's remote islands and stuff where people are. Anyway, they don't have any technology, anything. All they have is like they have some chainsaws and stuff. And
that's right. Yeah.
And what they do is their weeks consist of like them going out and just getting food and wood and stuff, and they're just gathering stuff for the winter, because in the winter it's hard for them to do. So they've got to keep warm. So they spend like 20-30 hours a week just doing this, but they don't have jobs. They don't have to get money. And like that, but they're the happy. They say that they're the happiest people in the whole world. But I don't know, like because they don't have an iPhone or whatever, they're the happiest people in the world.
It's not right. I mean, you can be happy.
It depends.
You can be happy in any situation, in any environment. The problem is that the more complicated your environment becomes, the more chance there is of you getting to a point where you get muddled up in your head and your brain gets so complicated that you find it difficult to remember to find out how to decipher your environment to make it work for you and be happy. So when, I definitely prefer living where I live now, where I have so many more things to enjoy, so many more options, so much more around me to experience. And I think I would prefer that rather than not have that, because I can still choose a simple life if I want. I just have all the options now. But
definitely.
I mean, there's no reason why you can't be happy in this environment. It's just.
But I mean, the question. I just want to go back to what I was talking about before. But the question that you have to sort of ask yourself there is that: is it necessary for you to maintain your structured, regimented Monday to Friday routine for you to still have all this stuff? Is that completely not necessary?
No, but that's fine. But if I understand.
Is it necessary for everyone?
No. What I agree
not.
with you
it's
that.
Not.
I agree with you that, like, we may not be needing to work this much to get the pleasures of the life that we want.
If you work 2 or 3 days a week, you could have exactly the same stuff. This house, this unit's not going to go anywhere. Yeah. Your iPhone's not going to go anywhere, and nothing's going to go anywhere.
I understand what you're saying, but
it might take a bit longer to get it.
I understand what you're saying, but I think there is obviously a spectrum here and a grey area of how much are we willing to put in the effort to reap the rewards of the amazing playground of life that we might be able to get given the effort we put in for it. And so at the moment we've decided that 5 days of work a week, maybe a little bit more, is what we're really interested in doing. I know you don't think that, but that's at the moment what we've come to. And that has given us such a rapid transformation in all these amazing technological things that we've got. And no, we wouldn't have been able to get all these things that we've got now in such a rapid way. And also the services that we get 24 hours a day. Someone always at the supermarket ready to service. There's always going to be someone answering the phone at the bank to help us out with whatever. If we weren't working that much, that stuff would not be available to such an extent.
Do you realise, well, there's a lot of unemployment. Why don't we get those people who are unemployed to
I'm not saying that stuff can't happen. I'm saying that it is a spectrum and that every time you slow someone else down, we may actually have to miss out.
This is what I'm saying. So if everyone slows down, if everyone has more days off and has more time to enjoy their life, then the system would go back to a normal level rather than revving. It's like at the moment. It's like at the moment. Just let me talk for a second. It's like at the moment we're running on steroids. Where that society and the world has just got this injection of work, capitalism, hoard as much wealth as you can. We're running on the red. We're just fucking going as hard as we can. Yeah. And now with climate change and pollution and all this shit that's going on, we're starting to realise, actually, we're running out of resources. We're running out of clean air to breathe. We're fucking going to melt a polar ice caps. We're fucking the place.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm saying.
I agree with all
that.
It's
so hard for us to realise that we need to fucking tone it back down.
Yeah, sure, but and that might be something that we decide that we would prefer to do, tone it back down, not have such a rapid growth in whatever it is that we're growing at, and maybe not be able to go to the supermarket at midnight and buy something. Maybe we won't be able to go to the theme park every single day. We'll just have days where people are willing to work. Maybe we want to sacrifice those things because we just don't want to work so much, and I think that's fine. It's just, we have to realise, I think, that it's not just a matter of you don't have to work and we can still have all this amazing stuff.
But you don't have to work 80 hours every week to get by. Like,
no.
If you're not happy, if you're doing a job you love, then fair enough. If you can work 80 hours a week. But if you hate your job, then don't work 80 hours a week.
Well, if you're doing that, you're an idiot. If you want to do that, fine, fucking do it. If you don't want to, though, and you're doing it and you're unhappy and you can't realise that's why you're unhappy, then you've got problems.
It's easy for us to sit here and say that, but then when you've got people 50 million people in America having to work 3 jobs a week and 80 hours just to buy milk for their kids.
Yeah, see, there's obviously a problem.
They can't quit their job because they can't find
They have no choice.
Not only they can't quit it, they've got to get another 2 and 3 on the side just to make
so there's obviously a problem with the way that the economy is actually structured and the way it works. To why that's not obviously functioning the most efficient way, because people's effort is not translating into the rewards in an equal way.
Can I just go back to what I was saying before about agriculture, because you tie into it nicely now. So we have this concept that before we started creating abundance for ourselves, that we were basically just fighting tooth and nail just for some basic form of survival. But the evidence shows that we were working a lot less. The nutritional value in the food from what we have today to what we had then, it's off the chart. It was so much more nutritional for us then than it is now. And obviously the life expectancy was shorter back then because we didn't have all these medicines and technology to be able to keep us alive as long. Mm-hmm. But the fact that in some way before agriculture and creating abundance, that we were in some way deformed or life was extremely tough. It's actually not true.
Yeah.
It's actually not true. And then when we got agriculture in, we created hoarding and scarcity and basically more for me, less for you. If I have all this, then you depend on me, so you have to do all this work for me.
I think that's to do with with more convenience too, like to make life easier. That's what we're constantly trying to make life easier for ourselves. So we can just go and we don't even have to wake up. We can just go to get to work.
Exactly.
We can just get on a train and we don't have to think. And we go to work and then we get on a train home and then we get home. We put TV on and your dinner's already you can buy a cooked dinner. Everything is everything is so convenient. So people just get stuck in this loop and everything.
But I think, Shaun, what you were saying before, I think the big jump psychologically between no agriculture and agriculture is the point at which, before agriculture, sure, everything was just is quite peaceful in that there's no rush to hoard. There's no rush to do anything. Yeah. There's no rush to do anything because every day is just survival and you're just you get some food to eat, whatever. There's no anxiety about the future. But when you start with agriculture, it gives that realization of, I can have more if I work more. And so then this is all of a sudden this thing goes in your head I want more. And I'm going to put in effort for that. And I think that's what changed.
But people wanted more back then too, which is why agriculture came in, because we naturally want more.
Freed them up.
People who have millions of money still want more. Everybody, you always want more, no matter. That's just a human nature.
But agriculture gave that window of tantalization of, oh my gosh, look how much more we can have if we just do this.
Yeah.
And so
people didn't know that before. People really probably didn't know that before.
Well, there wasn't that much leeway with having more. You can maybe you can hunt a little bit more and maybe not have to work for a week, but still, it's not that good. But with agriculture, it's a huge step.
But I think, like you're saying, with that rush and this, and what it comes down to is sort of time is sort of you see people who go to Europe and parts of Europe and they're like, everyone's sitting around having coffee and enjoying the sun, and they're having a long dinner. Their dinners are 5 courses long, and they're eating all day and they're drinking wine and they're having a good time. And it's got nothing to do with culture. It's got nothing to do with really anything whatsoever. What it's got to do with is just the time that people have. For interest's sake, America has more man hours per week in every job than any other country in the world. Yeah. So that when someone looks at these countries that have strong labour movements and social movements, and Australia follows very closely. I mean, what's our average working week? Our average working week is definitely
50 or something.
I think it's 50. Yeah, it's 50. Yeah, I'm pretty much average. That's fucking pretty outrageous, to think that if 5 days a week you have to work for 10 hours a day. Because when you work for 10...
never worked that much, there's no way.
Well, there's literally, I can guarantee you, when you look at that city out there off the balcony, there is literally fucking 60% of the people in that city that do 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
There is probably 60 or 70. Yeah.
See, I think it's funny because you said culture before, about culture. I know today I was just listening to everything Terence McKenna talking about culture, and I don't know if you've
that guy.
I don't know if you've heard it before, but he's just culture's just a thing that's been put on us. There's no such thing as culture. What it is, the government will say it's this media. They'll say, Australia's got a really hard working culture. We like to work 50 hours a week. We like to make money. Who says that? Who the fuck?
Culture is just a bunch of beliefs that people have that are outdated and attachments to things that they think are that way. They're just perceptions. They hold us back.
Who says weed and mushrooms and stuff can't be in our culture? But it's not because the media and government say it's not right.
Culture is just this old, outdated, collective belief system.
There's no such thing as culture.
It's just propaganda. It's just a collection of cults. It's just a collection of inflexible belief systems that people just.
Speaking about cults, I was just thinking. I was thinking the other day. No. That's what I was thinking about cults the other day, and I was thinking relating our society and relating what we do in our society to being in a cult. It's sort of you wake up of a morning, okay, you've got a certain amount of time, you have to go and get your formal attire on, you get all that on, okay, you have your breakfast, and then you go off and you do your routine, and then you be nice to everyone, because that's the way it has to work, and then you respect the leader, you do everything that the leader says. The leader has to tell you this and this and this, and if you go against that, then you'll be out. you're out of that cult, and then you do everything. You go home, you eat dinner, and then you get your one day off, where you can spend with your friend and family, 2 days off, and then you go back and you do the routine again. And it's sort of like a cult is like, is doing things without questioning. Like everyone goes, oh no, I can say what I want at work, I can question authority. Fuck off. There is a certain amount that you can question, and there's a lot of times you have to shut your fucking mouth. Like 95% of the time, you cannot say what you want to say. You just want to walk up to someone and go, actually, mate, you know what? I'm sick of fucking, Molly and calling up to you. You're actually a fuckwit. And if you say that, you're going to be out.
And that's
but don't say that. You can't blame that on the culture of the work telling you that that's how you have to do.
If you've got a boss that's a fuckwit,
you're making a decision
and you would tell him
based
in real
you
life.
understanding cause and effect of your actions, and you're going, understanding the environment around me, I know that if I do that, it will actually be overall worse off for me, given the circumstances you're in. So that doesn't necessarily say that you're forced into behaving that way. You're welcome to behave that way.
You have a lack of freedom of speech in any workplace. Yeah. That's fucking a fact.
So like a lot of people these days too, they'll lose their job if they get seen at a protest or something. That's in their spare time. So people can't do what they want in their job. So like I can see like how you mean it's a cult now, because you actually can't do what you want in your spare time.
Yeah,
if you believe in something, they're pretty much pushing you. They say it's your day off, don't do anything. Like just stay at home. Stay with your kids and your family. You can't go out. You can't protest. You can't do drugs. You can't
shave your head.
You can't do drugs. And that's the other thing.
Shave your head. You can't get tattoos on your fucking neck. You can't do anything.
Delaware, where me and Shane work, Shane's got tattoos, a sleeve all up and down his arm, and all these other people that work there for the contractor for Delaware, this massive international company, how are you allowed to walk around with your fucking arm out like that? And I was like, well, he's an individual, like, why can't he walk around like that? And they're like, oh no, we're not allowed to have piercings or tattoos showing or anything like this, not allowed to have their face shaved.
Disgusting.
And I'm like, you fucking cunts, like,
how dare you tell me not to be a human being?
That's 90% of jobs these days.
Yeah, I know it is.
You can't have showing tattoos, you can't have a beard, you can't have long hair.
When I first got this tattoo, this is my first tattoo, it's on my wrist, everyone. It's a spider web. And I met my mum in Vietnam and I showed her, I was like, Mum, look. She's first thing she said to me was, oh no, what about if you want to get a job? And I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, I could not give if I don't get a job because I have that tattoo, I don't want to be that job.
Oh, exactly.
Like, I find that just revolting.
But that's
I think
the
same thing every day. Like, if someone doesn't give me a job because I have tattoos, well, I don't want to be there.
I don't want to be around you people because you're not nice.
I think closed-minded people who just all they want to do is just
I'm an individual
and I'm same routine every day. So
I think culture. I think is like it's almost like just a way of describing how much of a sheep people can be. And how inflexible they can be and attached to their history and the way, and inflexible in their mind and are able to self-reflect and change because they can see that every moment is an option to change. Culture's just like holding on to the way that you are and not being able to change. And following people. It's just a collection of people following.
It's just like the normal
mentality. Your ability to conform. Your ability to conform with the people.
If someone thinks they're normal, they can get fucked.
I think if there's one thing that like the economic system and that the television and everything is trying to fucking push us into this funnel of just mainstream goodness. I think everything that is normal or considered normal, if you think outside that, then you're not in this group, this cult that everyone thinks is like, okay, top 40, that's good music, or that is like you say. I'm being pretty general here, but like or this is good and that's bad, sort of thing. And that's I see that more and more in society today, where in the workplace and everywhere. That's where you're pushed. You need to go down that road if you really want to be classed as a functional human being.
It comes because it's an appeal to being safe. When you're liked by your peers and your community, it's safe because it means that you'll be taken care of by the society around you, which is, we're pack creatures. Our mechanism for survival isn't about being able to have good defensive claws or teeth, or we can't act alone. We need each other to survive, and we need it because we're social creatures. We have to remain on side from each other. We can't ostracize ourselves because we will die. Yeah. So I think that's where that comes from, that need to conform and to fit in and to be liked and to just be like everybody else because you need to. I'm not saying
is that what I've been doing wrong?
I think it's a bit different. I think it's a bit different these days, but like, because I remember, like, I know generations before mine. I'm pretty young. Like, they just follow everything. Like, I know everyone listened to Elvis. Everyone did this. Like, like these days, but like a lot of people will hate like mainstream. So like I know like a lot of people between the age of like their teen years, they'll get fed this mainstream shit. Like, but it's like 50 to like 80% just don't give a fuck anymore. So like there's a lot more people listening to like going to dance music festivals, listening to different stuff, doing drugs.
But see, I agree with you, but I think that's still a phase. It's still. I think that's still mainstream. I think that being alternative is now mainstream. It's still the exact same mentality that it's gotten people to think that that's where they want to be. It's just that because they've realised that for some reason that's where the meme has gone. Well, it's still mainstream.
Is listening to Marilyn Manson mainstream?
No, but it's just it's people just.
I think I see what you mean because like stereosonic sort of thing, like everyone who would nearly go to that is just like a mainstream.
That's mainstream, but that's not mainstream music.
I would say no, but it nearly is these days. Because the people who would go now these days now, so like
stereosonic's mainstream for sure. Oh yeah,
because it's still everyone's the same. Like if you go there, like
I think everyone's
just the same.
Let's define. That's a good point, but let's define what fucking mainstream is, right? And like, is mainstream like I think like generically mainstream is like top 40, such as like fuck, I can't even. I blew back on my face straight away. I was about to say Nova, but that is all.
Triple J is now mainstream.
Look at it. David Guetta, Calvin Harris, blah blah. They're all playing stereo. They're mainstream people. They're all in top 40. So they've got number one songs. So it is mainstream place.
When we talk about mainstream, I think obviously there's a lot of little communities in many different topics, and whatever you define your interest group, you go into that community and there will be a mainstream aspect to that community. Always. So when we're talking about mainstream, I think what we're trying to get at is the main one, as in like the majority of the people where they're going at the moment. Because there's mainstream in trance music. If you like Armin, that's mainstream for trance music. Then you've got mainstream for like Triple J is mainstream for alternative music. Then you've got mainstream for just everybody. What's that now? Maybe everybody is separating into these smaller subcategories so much more that instead of being one huge one, everyone's a bit more separated. But still, everyone is still subject to the whole concept of trying to conform and be like others. So would you say
nearly like people who just think differently these days are nearly in a mainstream cult, like say like, oh yeah, I listen to Joe Rogan, oh yeah, that's so mainstream. Everyone listens to that shit. So that's mainstream. Like I fucking go listen to Duncan Trussell or something different. You're like, fuck Joe Rogan. Like everyone listens to him. Like
okay. So then in that case, perhaps now people have realised that being a part of that one massive group isn't the best way to be. Now it's actually better and better for you as a surviving in this sort of society to be a little bit different. And so it's actually now a mainstream idea and a mainstream thing to do to be alternative and pick something else. So it's still something that you're doing because everybody else is doing. You need to find your own thing. You need to be an individual.
But if you do that, but you've got a less chance of making friends in life too, because if you have interests is the same as someone next to you, well, you're going to get along with them.
So you say isolate yourself from the
So you're sort of isolating yourself from the world. So like if you've got a lot smaller amount of people that are going to be interested in that. So if you go out and play like World of Warcraft or something, there's fucking millions of people into that. So you're going to make a lot of friends. But if you go and play some shitty game that some dude made in his basement or something, no one knows. Well, then no one's going to have a clue.
But you can have many interests.
You can have a lot of interests, but if you're not interested in anything that no one else is interested in, you're not going to get along with them.
Unless you try and foster
you're not going to know anyone.
Unless you try and foster a culture, the type of culture where people actually enjoy each other's differences and not just the commonalities.
In a way, but I couldn't really see that working much.
Well, that's what I think the whole idea is that people are starting to appreciate people who are different. I think that's what people are appreciating people who are alternative.
Well, like I mean, like 40 years ago, if you were an advocate for gay rights, you'd be looked at as a fucking piece of shit. But now, if you don't like gay rights and if you're not into them, then you're a fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? So it's gone a complete 180. Like everyone's like, fucking, who gives a shit? Leave the gay people alone.
Same with slavery.
Leave the black people alone.
Same with black people.
Leave them alone. And now we're sort of trying to get to a point where like everyone's trying to wake up about.
But that's a fact that people don't want to. They just it's people think that they've got to do that, otherwise I'm going to get hated on. Like there are still cults these days of people who hate black people. Still cults of people who want.
I think we've been beating around the bush a bit. I think the main thing is just jerking off mainstream.
It is just not talking about it.
It's just not what?
That's not subject to mainstream culture because it's an instinctive
thing. Sex is
it's like saying it's eating mainstream.
No, but say sex appeal is mainstream now. Like, I see, you walk down the street and see sex stuff everywhere. There's fucking
Oh, so you're saying people are more open with their sex?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But what I'm saying is you can't say eating, breathing, having sex is that mainstream because everybody. You're saying, is it mainstream to be really open and free with your?
Well, it's sort of like
is it mainstream to jerk off in Centre Square? That's a question you can ask.
Is it a mainstream? Like, I mean, I think jerking off. Let's be serious, okay? The facts of the matter are is that porn consumes 1/3 of the internet. So if anyone knows anything about the internet, they know that that's
so it's mainstream to watch porn.
Thing.
Sure,
but you're not watching porn unless you're fucking flogging your log. All right. That's just the way that this works out.
Yeah, but you can also flog your log and not watch porn.
So there's a lot... yeah, you can.
You can,
yes. But that's maybe a chick thing to do.
So watching porn just increases the frequency of jerking off. It's not actually the thing that's mainstream. Jerking off isn't the mainstream thing.
Jerking off is extreme. I think jerking off is mainstream.
I think these days too, but like people, I do might just say like, oh, I'm bored, I'm just going to put some porn on and jerk off.
I think they do.
Yeah. But like when back in the day, like, well, they wouldn't do that because it wasn't available.
Well, what do you jerk off? And what before magazines? And what do you jerk off about?
All right, so the internet has made
memories.
So
there was a lot less sex.
Memories.
No, but there was a lot less. There was a lot less sex drive.
Color memory.
But a lot of people had a lot less sex drive back then, and like it was.
When?
No, I think that
bullshit. No way.
It wasn't popular.
No, definitely not. People find other ways to do it.
The 40s and earlier.
I think religion had a lot to do with it too. I think religion.
It was never spoken about.
I don't think sex drives would go up and down with culture. I think sex drive is going to be something that is going to stick, and people will always find a way to express
I
it
think
in whatever culture they're in.
Once fucking like Christianity and fucking Islam got their dirty fucking hands on people's sex lives and fucking construed their beliefs to fucking believe that you're going to go to hell if you do this or do that. I think that completely fucked a lot of people with their fucking with their sex drive.
Just look at the example of the Catholics, like. People's sex drives are going to be there. If you tell people not to do it, it's the culture around you and the environment you're in.
Well, they're going to not do it for a while.
You will express it eventually. It'll come out in a bad way.
Yeah, sometimes. Definitely.
Yeah, but the
like
sex drive is still
pedophilia.
It's still there. It's just that people are suppressing
it's true, I guess.
They
you look at people in prison,
and then you get fucking serial killers and rapists and that sort of thing.
Exactly.
That's right.
So suppressing anything your desires is always a bad idea.
That's why Australia has
human nature. But if we're told not to do something, we're going to do it.
Well, that's what Australians do.
But you should acknowledge any desire in you and express it because it's the way to learn about yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's why you should do what you want all the time. Do what you want. Always do it. And just deal with the consequences because it's a learning curve. There's always going to be something out of that desire. You have to explore the desire and then do it and then figure out why you want to do it and where it comes from. And there's always going to be a lesson or an experience in that desire to have to go through. If you just suppress that shit, you'll never do anything.
That's what defines you as a person as well,
It does.
Find out what you want and go and get it. That is what I think
that's what makes you happy
grow.
Too.
Yeah. And we have to do it. I think a lot of the problem is people don't know what they want, so that's difficult to.
Exactly. Yeah.
But still, sex is the first thing to start with. Just go and have sex.
People will just say they want something ridiculous. They'll be like, "I want to be famous" or something. Like, we can't just go out and get that. Well, if you want it, you can if you try hard enough. But like, it's not as easy.
Well, you have to ask yourself the reason as to why you want something. I always do that too much.
What's that? Anxiety.
I ask myself, why do I like that view? Oh, okay, maybe because back in the day when
what's that disease? Dissociative.
Oh no, what is it? Yeah.
Dissociative.
Cognitive.
I don't know. It's this disease that people believe that they can do or be whoever they want because they have that strong belief, and then like they're 40-year-olds like with back problems trying to be bodybuilders and shit like that. Or they're like.
That's the thing about I think the culture we grew up in today. The parents just tell us that you can do whatever you want if you just put it I don't know. I don't know. If
I think they do because if I remember when I was younger, I'd be like, well, if I want to do this when I'm older, you might say anything. You might want to be like a comedian or whatever. Like then your parents are going to go, no, you can't, because
did they say that?
No, but
did your parents say that?
They didn't, but like, they if like, I could just imagine if you did, they'd say, no, you can't, because you're not going to get a stable income from that. How are you going?
Oh, you reckon that would be the case?
I think a lot of parents would say that to their kids, like.
I think a lot would
because they'd be like, well, get a job, and then you can try it, but if you're probably going to fail. Like anything, like tattooing, like people. I've seen people want to tattoo before, but they couldn't because they couldn't afford.
So you're looking at two different types of parents. Parents that I'm talking about, sort of the parents that I guess in society's eyes these days are the ideal parents, the ones who really support their kids, and they say, you can be whatever you want, honey. You know, we'll support you in anything you do, and you're amazing, and you can do whatever you want. I think there's an element of that being not the best way to, treat a human being as they're growing up in a world where that's just not the case.
I think it's different too. Like, say Australia, like you can, if you want, you can go to uni. Like you just pay it off your HECS and stuff.
That's true.
When in America, you've got to have the money up front. So if someone's like, well, I want to be a doctor, and their family's not well off, they can't be a doctor because they can't go to college and they can't do it. So they're going to have to work at the fucking cafe on the corner the rest of their life, and might end up being a hooker or something. But in Australia, we're pretty lucky, but. You can't do what you want nearly like everywhere.
Well, what you are able to do is directly related to, your opportunities is directly related to what is actually able to be done. Like you said, you can go to uni if you have the money.
You can.
So that's a fact. Honey, you can go to uni if you have the money. Great. Support your kid in that way, But you can't say you can do whatever you want because you really can't. Like, you will not be able to be a gymnast if you are fat. So that's the fact.
Exactly,
you can't, that's just, Yeah.
But it's not like that either. You can't be like, I want to be an AFL player, and then you can try doing it for 10 years and you're not going to get anywhere.
Exactly, and it's just actually not possible to, if you're living in like Kenya, it's just not possible to probably go to uni. It's just actually just not going to happen. No matter how hard you try, the option availability isn't there.
That's right.
So it's not, I don't know why. Anyway, we're going to toilet.
You go to the toilet.
Yeah. Chat.
Now that fucking she's gone. Close the door, you pig. Anyway, so what's been happening with you, Shane?
Well, not much. Just chilling.
Jerking off?
That sort of, yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Well, your girlfriend's away, so you got to fucking take care of business, don't you?
Pretty much. No, it's been... chilling out, watching heaps of YouTube videos.
That's all I do now.
Learning shit, learning as much
like
as
today,
I can.
that's all I do. And I feel like such a loser. I'm like, what's that figure like of how many people in each country? You can look it up on Google, like how many people spend their time on Facebook. But like, I start on Facebook. Like, I might get home and all the girls are watching TV or something. I turn on the computer, I start on Facebook, and then I might go to a link or something and goes to that link, and then eventually always end up on YouTube. And then I'm on YouTube, and then I'm just watching like 10-minute videos, and I feel like I'm like this cyborg being that's just like trying to download these little fucking bits of information, like getting these little fucking bits of information. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, next, that's interesting, and then you just scroll through the multiverse of fucking YouTube and just the amazing amount of information that's on that.
Oh, you can do anything with the internet these days. I would the other day, I was like, fuck, I want to start doing yoga, because it fucking helps you relax and gives you energy stuff. Yesterday morning I got up and I did 20 minutes of yoga. I fucking felt better than I've ever felt for ages. I fucking never felt that good. All day I had the most fucking energy ever. And today I did the same thing. You feel so fucking good. I can't do half the shit that they get you to do, but it's so good. And fucking just try something different. I only started meditating a month ago, but I feel so much better since I've done it. I feel like a different person.
Really,
I wake up and I just feel fucking really good.
Really good.
Meditation is just
I go to the gym.
Changed me. I
go to the gym and I meditate for an hour a day. Go to the gym, and then straight after, when you completely had it, you eat some food, you meditate, and then it's just I don't need to move anywhere, don't need to do anything. I'm fucking completely happy.
I need to get back into meditation again. I did keep going on through phases.
Yeah.
But
I think it helps find who you are too, and it helps you recognise what's shit about yourself.
Yeah.
Because the more I've been doing it, the more I'm learning about myself, and I'm like, fuck, why do I do this?
For sure.
Makes me why do I drink so much fucking soft
Just the other day, you said, the other day, you said he took shitloads of mushrooms the other day, and he fucking lost, and he fucking went in, and then he was he went through a situation where he was sort of fucking, why do I eat so shit food? And why do I do this and why do I do that? And
I think it changed like me fully, like everything, like this. Like, I only did it like on Sunday. Like,
you just disgusted with bad food now. Like, do you look at it and go, I don't want that?
Yeah, like this whole week, like I'm just like changing fully, like my lifestyle. Like I'm just
awesome.
like I think that I could have taken what from that. Like I could take it and use it all, but I could also ignore it. Like. And I know that I could just ignore that whole experience and be like, well, I don't have to fucking do anything with that.
Yeah.
I can still eat shit and do whatever, but like, now I'm like, well, fuck, I don't want to go to Macca's. Like, I fucking know that's bad for me, but like, I still do it. I still do it. Like, I haven't done it since then, but like,
you have to have a desire for self-improvement.
I nearly hated myself when I was like having a really massive trip, like I was real fucking deep, and I was just like thinking like about myself. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I was just like, fucking, I eat Macca's like 5 times a week. I'm drinking I'm drinking like fucking liters and liters of soft drink. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I don't fucking exercise. Like,
you gotta listen to that shit.
And like, I'm just like looking at myself and I'm just like hating myself. Like, I'm like,
and this is the exhibit A of a psychedelic experience. This is what can come out of doing psychedelics. It allows you to self-reflect on yourself and tell you what's wrong with your life. What is
the Earth's way of helping us get back on track and lose our way? It's so ridiculous. It makes me angry.
And like, even like just like TV shows I watch, I'm like, fuck, why do I watch this show? Like, it just makes me dumber. Like, these people in this show are fucking idiots. Like, I'm like, this is just making me like look like a fucking idiot that I even watched this. Like, but like, I think like the fact that you do that stuff is because like everyone else is doing it, you know. Like, so like everyone I know eats Macca's. Like my housemates eat takeaway like 6 nights a week. Like they drink soft drink every day. So it's like it feels normal for me. Like I'll be like, go get Macca's and be like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like but if I was living with people who are health freaks, I could imagine them be like, look at this guy, he's like so unfit. He's like, he never runs, he never does weights, and he doesn't do anything. But like, that's the people you're around.
Yeah.
Now they look at me, but now they would look at me, and I'll be like doing meditation. I'll be like doing yoga, and I'll be like eating healthy. Like I have like avocado and like tomatoes and shit. Like
you got it,
and they're like having vitamins every single day. Like, and they're looking at me like I'm fucking some kind of alien.
They'll catch up. You might influence and rub off on them soon.
No, man. Like it's so important.
You are who you hang around. Definitely, that's what culture is. You know, everyone rubs off on each other. That's why it's so important when you are a strong person to be strong, so that you can influence others. And you know,
which is why, like after the experience, I was like, well, I don't have to take anything like from that at all. But if I do change and take what I learned from that experience, well, I know I'm going to get looked at different, and I know some people are going to think I'm some weird cunt because I'm doing meditation for an hour a day, or I'm started doing yoga, which is like, and they'll be like, what the fuck are you doing yoga for? And I'm like, well, I fucking feel good doing it, but like, and like, I'm not going to be like, well, I took mushrooms and I thought I'd fucking do it because I took mushrooms. Like, I'm not going to
say You've lost it, man.
But just who cares what people think? That's the main thing.
Definitely,
You just have to learn that one thing and then...
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll put it out in line just to make sure that I follow through with it. And I'm going to do it no matter what. That's what I told Jess yesterday. So I'm going to get back on supplements and that sort of thing, and I'm going to get as big as I possibly can. Wait. I'm going to get as big as I possibly can. Well, I'm not saying massive, like big. I'm just going to get like a really ripped 8-pack and like as much as I can because I'm in a good spot for it now. I've got a decent structure for it. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to get a photo shoot, and then I'm going to go off.
Why?
Well, because I want to like capture the moment so that when I can look back when I'm like
that's how
50,
big could have.
That's how big I could have been, and I did it, and I was happy, and then I won't have to think about it like that again.
So you're just doing it to test your body,
because I feel like
how big it could be.
I'm getting I've been doing well for the past sort of like 6 months to a year. I'm been thinking, well, look. I'm not going to maintain this for the rest of my life. I just want to do it, sort of remember it, and then I want to sort of I want to lean back because I don't want to keep revving my body. You want to know
what your body's capable of.
Yeah. I don't want to rev my body this high. Like I probably won't get like a massive amount bigger than this, but like I'll probably put on like another 10k or something, maybe 8k.
But that's a massive part of like just having no regrets and thinking, well, when I'm older, I don't want to look back and being some skinny cunt my whole life when I could have been some big cunt, you know?
Yeah, that's
why I want to get tattoos. Like, I love tattoos. I love art. And like, I could have like gone when I was like 18, 19. I would have been like, well, I don't want to. I want to get tattoos, but I'm not going to do it because normal society tells me not to, and I'm not going to get a job. But pays the right amount of money if I get tattoos, but it's what I want. I love art, I love drawing, I love...
Yeah, definitely.
And so I'm just like, well, fuck it, I'm just going to get tattooed. Like, you only get one chance. I'm going to do it like now. Like,
absolutely.
I'll still get tattooed when I'm fucking 50. I don't give a fuck. When I'm 60, I don't want to look back and be like, fuck, I wish I had like tattoos, then I would have been fucking...
Yeah, I know,
I would have been so much better. I would have loved my body, I would have loved art like more.
To give you an idea, Shane's got full front body tattoo. Show
me. Shaun always talks about it.
Yeah, I know, it's incredible.
Oh, wow.
I got all this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it's a full front of his
chest.
I got
everything. I got my thighs, my feet, my calves.
That's awesome. That's
show your
really
arm,
nice.
but show your arm. That's all I look at. I don't walk. He doesn't walk around.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah.
That's a shit. Is that King like a Titan or whatever?
Yeah, Neptune.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's not finished yet. Still got to get all this done.
Really, it's actually nice.
And you tattoo yourself as well, don't you?
I have, yeah. I haven't for a long time.
Oh,
but like,
really?
A few years ago, I used to, when I was like tattooing friends, and I tattooed both my thighs and my calf.
Oh my god!
Tattooed both my thighs. And,
Well, I have 3 tattoos.
She does. They're not like that.
This one says, "All you need is love and a cat," and written in my handwriting. It's really shit.
Good
So
one.
I think
I love it. I love all my tattoos. I had that, and then I have a Wi-Fi symbol on the back of my neck.
So a lot of people, like, when I show them like my shit tattoos that I've done, like, they'll be like, "Why the fuck would you do that? Like, you know, you got that for the rest of your life." I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking know."
I love it. Yeah, I did it.
Motherfucker, look at my arms.
Like, when I did it, like, I was thinking at the time when I was like getting the tattoo, when I was doing the tattoo or whatever, I was like, this is a pretty shit tattoo. Like, I was wondering if I'm gonna fucking look back at this and regret it. But like now, like 2 years on, like I look back and like I fucking love it because like it reminds me of a good time.
Definitely.
Reminds me of a good time of my
Back
life.
then, yeah.
Like when I was like crazy and I was partying every like 3 nights a week. I had different friends, like completely different friends to now.
Yeah.
And like I think like if I don't have that tattoo or something now, like I probably wouldn't even remember that time. Like so now I can look down at like my tattoos sometimes like and be like, fuck, like I remember this night, like when I got this, it was fucking fun as like, and I did this and like.
Having regrets is silly because like I'll always like I want to look back on myself and always go, I'm completely happy with the person that I happened to choose to be at that moment back then, and that's perfectly fine. I have complete faith in myself in the past, present, and future. And there's no way I would ever...
That's right.
Like, if you are happy with who you are, then I don't care. I can do whatever I want and never regret anything.
But
I think regrets
even all that
thing.
stuff defines who you are today. Like, say, all my home done tattoos, well, that's helped me be who I am today, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a rapist or anything, but like, fucking, so it's done good, obviously. Like, some people's pasts have, like, fucked their minds, but like, obviously shit like that hasn't affected me in bad ways.
Well, I mean, when you look at regrets, I mean, you can understand how certain things might have ramifications down the track, and you might go, oh, shit, now that I'm at this point in my life, I really, really wanted to be a receptionist, and now I can't because I have this tattoo on my wrist. Like, and it's like, well, how bad do you want to be a receptionist to the point where you think that you made the wrong decision back then? Well, then you're not, I still think you're just not in tune with yourself that much, because
that's right.
I think you need to understand that, well, if that's what I wanted to do back then, well, then there's nothing that was exactly the right thing to do.
I thought about that a lot because like, I left school when I was 15, so like I missed out on like anything now like after that because I left school when I was 15, so there's a lot of jobs I can't get.
Yeah, you've closed some doors because of your actions.
I closed a lot of doors because of that, and then like so I started an apprenticeship and whatever. I like now I look back and I'm like, fuck, I wish I didn't do that job. Like, but I did that job and like that's helped me to be who I am today. So I think it was like a good decision in a way. Like I try and take the positives out of it. There are a lot of negatives from decisions back then. I know I smoked a lot of weed when I was like 16, 17 too. Like, but I think that all of that has defined who I am today.
Definitely.
And like a lot of people, when I meet people, I'll be like, fuck, you seem like you're like fucking a 30-year-old. Like I know like 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds who are like fucking more immature than you. Like, and I'm just like, well, fuck, I think that's just more like my experiences, and a lot of people. Yeah. Like I live with someone who hasn't had any experiences, he hasn't travelled, he's always had an easy job, he's had it easy, he's barely done anything in life, like, and he's like the most closed-minded person. Like you would think he's like, he's got the mind of an 18-year-old, but like, but I think that's more like, I think your experiences like help you grow up and define who you are in life.
Yeah, and it's just the way you're looking at it. Like you can look at what you've done as a way that it's closed all these doors for me now in the future, or you can look at it and go, oh, it's opened all these other ones. Like it's just the way you look at it. Completely the way you look at it. So, no regrets, friends.
No regrets.
But having no regrets makes you happy.
No, but that's why I want to do it. I just want to do it, get it out of the way, just get big and get as fucking big as I can. Because I've done it once. I did it once, and then I've done it. I sort of did it again when I had all that time off work. And then I probably should have got it done then because I was probably getting decent enough then. But now I've sort of lost a bit, and now I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it one more time because like I don't want to be like 35, 40, still like I just
still trying to get to that pinnacle.
Still trying to get to that pinnacle. Like I just want to do it now before I'm 30, and then I want to get the pictures and go good. The pressure's off. I just have to maintain, and I'll lose.
So you feel like it's something you have to prove to yourself that I can make it to that massive.
That's good. I reckon you should do it. It's an achievement for yourself.
Oh, it is. It is because like I'm really enjoying going to the gym at the moment. And I'm thinking, well, fucking, why necessarily am I doing it? And I'm putting my body all through this like extra sort of stress and muscle like. And then I started thinking, maybe I should just get some steroids, and that would make it a lot easier. No, I know, I've been fully against them my whole life. So, no, I'm just going to go back on supplements, and that's fucked enough as it is. Like, that's not good for your body. All that protein and creatine and fucking all that sort of shit.
Yeah, don't do it for too long.
No, I won't. I'll just do it for... No, well, I'm going to do it until summer because I don't believe in solariums either, so I'm not going to... I need to get a tan to make sure that I can get... Make sure I can get a good photo shoot. So I'm going to wait till summer comes around. So I've probably got the next 6 months I'm going to really work towards. So gym 4 or 5 times a week and just... make sure that I'll get it all together.
Well, I'm going to... the motivation to do it. That's awesome.
Well, that's what it is all about. And plus, I mean, working full-time. But working full-time with this job... means that you stay lean as fuck. Yeah, because
exactly.
You walk 10k a day.
All your cardio is done at work.
And then all your cardio is done at work, and then you just come and just get muscle.
Well, I'm going to go to Spain, and I'm going to focus on like just utter health. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do lots of yoga. I'm going to be at the beach. I'm going to be tanning. I'm going to be exercising heaps, eating really well.
Smashed by a whole Spanish football teams.
I'm going to be having regular sex, definitely. And
how do you do that? What's the secret?
And it's going to be good. And I only have to work 12 hours a week, so I'll be stress free.
She works 12 hours a week. She's going there to teach English, and she has to only work 12 hours a week, and she gets paid enough to support her habits of living.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I get to live on the beach.
Sangria and rum and
It's going to be great.
That'd be awesome.
That is good. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. I don't know if I'm coming or if I'm not, or if I'm...
You're coming or going or staying or leaving or...
no.
Jerking off or not?
Like, the whole situation seems amazing, and I really want to go to Israel.
Oh, do you mean coming overseas?
Yeah.
Why the fuck wouldn't you?
Well, I really want to, and I know that, like...
That's ridiculous if you wouldn't come overseas. That's stupid.
Yeah, I've got the time. What's
the problem?
Well, it's just all the travelling.
So fucking angry with this.
It's just all the travelling in between. Like, I just don't know if I'm going to have the money to do it.
Well, just get a loan again. I'm not going to be, like, I'm living in Spain. You can, like, live with me, and then we can go and see Israel and Egypt and the places that we talk about constantly.
I'd like to go to Egypt and Israel.
Yes. I think you're an idiot. Like, out of the shit you talk about money, and you're actually going to not do something you want to do because you don't think you might have money problems. That's bullshit.
No, I just don't think I'll have enough money.
Just because you're an idiot.
Like, coming to Spain is not a problem. I'll just fly straight into Spain and we'll get fucked up and have a good time. But it's just all the shit in the middle of that.
Well, it'll only be a couple of weeks of travelling. It's not going to be that bad. Yeah. We're not going to travel for ages. It's not going to be like that.
We stay in dingy, dark.
And Shaun, every other time you've gone overseas, it's always happened spontaneously at the last minute, and I've always mapped it out in your head, but you didn't know about it. It's going to be fine. So I light little lights along Shaun's pathway, and he doesn't know that the pathway's there, but when he gets on the path, he can see a little bit in front of him. But I've paved the way, and he doesn't realise it. So the thing is with Shaun, you have to make him think that everything is his idea. It's not. I incept thoughts into his head, and he kind of just goes the way I want him to, but he doesn't. I make him think that it was his idea.
Right.
Anyway, we're gonna go. We're gonna go, and you're gonna come and spend Christmas and New Year's with me. Because I need you to be there for that period. You have to. It's either got a 2-week break, so you have to be there for that 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it's going to be over. We're going to spend New Year's, and we can go spend New Year's in Tel Aviv. How cool would that be? Imagine New Year's in Cairo. That'd be fucking crazy. In the pyramids.
I can't speak their language.
I can't speak Egyptian either. Fucking hell.
What the fuck is that?
It's a UFO.
It's a UFO. It's definitely
a UFO.
If you ever say what the fuck is that, the answer is UFO. Just know what you're talking about.
Even if it's on the ground.
Can we? Actually, I had one thing to say before. You're talking about information and abundance of it on the internet. I was talking to my dad about that. Like, I really think that, well, obviously people know this. We've really conditioned our brains now to be addicted to that type of input. So now we constantly need rapid and frequent, information bits coming to us all the time.
Exactly.
And I think it's to the point where when we go away from that scene for a while, we might find it a little bit difficult to just be around just really simple environment, which doesn't give that much information. So I think that's a bit of a worry. I think you need to every now and then take yourself away from that environment so that you remember that you can adapt, you can survive in both situations. You don't have to have it.
That's why meditation's important, because
exactly.
For the fact that I can't sit there and watch the mainstream news, to the point that now I can't even sit there and watch SBS news because there's not enough going on for me. That I have to either watch the news, and then I also have to sit on my phone, or then I have to get on the computer. But I'm not necessarily going through friends' pictures of what they ate for dinner and shit. I'm going through actual news feeds of 10 different companies around the world and that sort of thing. It's what you want.
People want to feed their. I know what you mean. Like, people just want to feed their brain with information, like photos. Like, who cares? They want to know what other people are doing. Like, if I leave my room without my phone for 10 minutes, I'm like, fuck. What if someone calls me? What if something happens? Like, I'm like, but I can go for a drive for 3 hours because my parents live 3 hours away. I'll drive and I won't even touch my phone. But I know it's there, so it's sort of that feeling.
Yeah, it's still attachment. I think
everyone is attached to their phone and technology these days. So
that's why
I think if I was driving and I didn't even have my phone on me, I'd be like, well, fuck, what if I broke down? Or fuck, what if this happened? Or what if someone needs to talk to me or tell me something or ask me something? I can't fucking find out. When back in the day, that was normal.
So I think that's why putting yourself in different situations is always a good thing. You got to be able to remember changing things up makes you flexible and adaptable, and your brain much more healthy, I think, and alive, because you don't get caught in those traps and those.
It's I think they've got a day now where it's no phone or no technology.
Oh, really?
Or something.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago. It was it's no technology at all for a day or something, but.
Well, I think that there's a really good initiative of if you go out for dinner with friends or something, then everyone get their phone and put it on top of one each other on the table, so you're not allowed the whole dinner. You're not allowed to touch your phone.
Exactly.
And I think that's
the first person who does has to buy everyone around.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Isn't that the best idea? Yeah. That's so cool.
I think that's
Did I tell you about that?
No. I looked at it on the internet.
No, because I
looked at it on the internet.
No, because that's what.
It was on the fucking internet.
Because I spoke to someone about it the other day. It's
what I was checking it while we were having dinner.
My cousin does it. I got back from Perth and I told you about that because my cousin does it with his friends in Sydney, and that's where I got. I told you about that. Yeah, I definitely did. I'm going to take all the credit for that. It's a really cool idea. I think we should do that.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that just us sitting here talking for so long, none of us have gone on our phone or anything the whole time.
No, not at all.
Which is that might be just us having the conversation. We feel like we're getting information from each other in a way, sort of thing.
Well, we're just engaged. I see no reason to try and look for something else because I'm perfectly happy in the moment in time I'm here.
So what are you saying when you see someone go for their phone, they're scumbags, and you shouldn't be their friend anymore?
But
I think that
you're not interested.
That interested. I think that's
so
true.
if I put out my phone, but I wouldn't be paying as much attention to what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
So then.
And it suggests that you're thinking that you might find something more worthwhile to look at on your phone.
Yeah.
So, I think it's not necessarily an indication of people feel that way. I think it's more of an indication that people have a habit of reaching for that alternative, even though they are probably aware that they still would prefer overall to be in the situation they're in. It's just a habit.
Yeah, it's a habit now.
Yeah, because the thing is with that is the phone is like a mystery of potential, unlimited potential of what it could possibly give you. Who knows? It could be on there. Oh my god, especially Facebook. Who knows?
Could be that one meme
it's
that changes my life.
It's like a lucky dip. Every time you look at your phone, lucky dip, and you never know how good it could be. So I think that's the addiction.
It's like you never look at your phone and it changes your life or anything. It's something you can live without for a bit. I don't know. I think that's just technology and how we are adapted to it now.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm going to go and cut my veggies. I'm fucking starving.
Alright, cool.
I'm on a 500 calorie day today.
500 calorie day. And as for all you out there listening, maybe you should be on a 500 calorie day too.
It's my favourite diet.
Alright, because you know, it's a good diet.
It's awesome. I'm loving it. Like, it's actually not that hard, and it makes me much more aware of my...
Jess is home. Jess, are you on a 500 calorie day?